Australia has aligned itself with the US, UK and other allies to condemn China's malicious cyber activities, blaming them for the hacking of Microsoft earlier this year. The Chinese embassy says it rejects the allegations and accuses Australia of being hypocritical. Alastair MacGibbon is Australia's former National Cybersecurity Advisor and now Chief Strategy Officer at cyber firm CyberCX. Alastair MacGibbon, it's always hard to name people in these circumstances because it's often hard to prove, which makes it all the more significant that Australia and so many allies have now singled out China. What's happened?
Yes, well, Laura, that list, by the way, includes Japan, the EU, New Zealand and NATO, of course, not known to be greatly anti-Chinese. What's happened here, of course, is there's a significant body of evidence that says that the Chinese Ministry of State Security has conducted a wholesale hacking campaign across Microsoft Exchange servers that are used by so many people to carry out their normal business, whether it's in government or enterprise. It's the second time that Australia has called out reckless Chinese behaviour online. I'd add, Laura, that it's not the type of behaviour you'd expect from a global leader and not the type of way in which China wants to be seen as a global leader.
And the significance of this seems to be that it's not just a state instrumentality, but that there are these private sector players in China as well?
Yeah, it's a really critical part of this attribution, is that Australia and other nations are saying that it wasn't just the Chinese Ministry of State Security, it was contracted hackers who were also engaging on the side in criminal activities to basically profit. So it's not just a Chinese intelligence operation, it's a criminal operation that's sanctioned by the Ministry of State Security. And that's a radical shift from the type of behaviour you'd expect to see from a country like China.
Well, you work with some of the companies that have been affected by this hacking. What's the actual impact on them?
Well, it's significant. Anyone that's a victim of any type of cybercrime or hacking activity is a victim just like an offline one. They've had information that's stolen. What we don't know, Laura, the other interesting aspect of this is whether we were dealing with victims of the Chinese government from these hackers for hire that the Chinese government was using, and they were just carrying out criminal activities. And then interestingly, in this case, once the vulnerability was known and the patch was released by Microsoft, a whole range of other nation states and criminal groups within 48 hours weaponized the attack and then went on a feeding frenzy of stealing information globally. So we've been dealing with victims who've obviously lost really important corporate and other information. What we don't know is which of those threat actors had carried it out.
Well, the head of ASIO in a threat assessment speech talked about the threat to government, defence, academia and business. We've talked about business here, but do we know much about whether these attacks have also focused on government and academic circles as well?
Yes, we do. We know that governments were affected all around the world, as were sort of academics and researchers, as well as corporate and enterprise. And Mike Burgess has come out and said that cyber warfare is one of the most significant threats we're facing. He joins his UK and US counterparts, and certainly people like me that are saying this is an existential threat facing our society.
Alastair MacGibbon, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Laura.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.